Hey, what's up, my Go Getters, and welcome to the G Code. It is me, your homegirl, ADRI.V, the Go Getter. Remember me, A to the D, R to the I-V, THEGOGETTA. You can follow me on all things ADRI.V, the Go Getter, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Pinterest, all that jazz, and as well as my website at ADRIVtheGoGetter.com. I want to say again, thank you so much for coming into the G Code, and welcome. Today we have a dope young lady who's going to give you her life story from the time she decided to make a jump. And we're going to get into exactly what we mean by a jump, what's going on for the month of February, and why I need your ears to make sure you listen to this for your own listening pleasure. Now, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the G Code. You can follow the G Code on Facebook as well as Instagram, and do not forget to subscribe to the G Code as well on YouTube, SoundCloud, as well as iTunes, and make sure you are sharing these dope codes that you will be learning with the rest of your friends. Don't be greedy. Give to those who need it. All right, it's time for us to jump into it. If you're ready for it, let's get into the G Code. Welcome. Hey, my Go Getters. What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to another episode of the G Code. On this Wednesday, we give it to you each and every time. And I would like to call the series for February a winning Wednesday. Why? Because for me, I have determined February to be a month of focus for the next 29 days. And why not allow every Wednesday that I give you the new G Code of the week to be a winning one with a winning woman, okay? This young lady is definitely a friend of mine, and I'm blessed to call her friend. Her name is Ariane Hennings. She, to me, is definitely a fitness guru and a financial guru. And I like to call her financially fit in all areas. So she gets you fit financially, fit mentally, spiritually, physically, all things. And we're definitely about to jump into, of course, the success when it comes to getting the pretty, the ugly, and the grind. And she's going to give you so many dope codes that you really better get notes and make sure you make them. So Ariane Hennings, welcome to the G Code, boo.
Hey, what's going on?
Friend. So I'm happy to call you friend, not F-R-I-N-D, but F-R-A-N-N, all the way to the end. And I'm just happy to have you on the G Code, boo.
I'm happy to be a part.
Yeah,
excited.
You're excited. You know what I love most? You're a real friend, because you're like, yo, I'll just listen to the G Code, and that was a good one. And I love to get those texts. Those are real friends. They support you on your endeavors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I appreciate you. So let's jump into the G Code. For those who do not know who the heck Ariane Hennings is, let them know. Who are you?
It's your girl. I want to be like my friend, ADRI.V. It's your girl, Ari.Ready. My name's Ariane Hennings, but I'm also known as Ari.Ready. That is like my health coach and fitness name. My company name, plug real quick, Ari.Ready.com.
Absolutely.
So really, by morning, I'm into financial management, accounting, things of that sort. And by night or in the weekends, I am health coaching, teaching fitness, and really empowering people to live the best life they possibly can. So I really value the body, period, like not just your legs and your arms, but even your mind. I do a lot of analytical stuff, but I'm also a real physical person as well. So I just think it's really important all the way around. Get your mind, body, and spirit right. Yes. So that's what I'm all about.
Yes.
And I'm ready to take that as far as I possibly can,
Yes. And, I feel like you sparked it off for so many people, and you have really led a charge when it comes to being ready with Ari.Ready. And we're definitely going to get more in depth with that. But, what they don't know about Ariane is that, for the month, like I told you, it's about Focus February, and she took a major jump. And as a friend, when your friend comes to you and like, friend, I just want to leave. And you're looking at her like, okay, where are you trying to go? And so she hits you with like, LA. It's like, that's across the country. Like, what do you mean you're just going to up and leave? And it's like, so did you think about it? Did you make a decision? Yeah, I'm going to leave Friday. Friday? Like, this. I'm so confused here. And so, what I admire most about my friend is that you really have this no nonsense with procrastination and also deliberating on what to do. You make a decision and you make it happen, and then you just jump and do it. But this decision, I really thought you would take some type of a thought process with it, but you really didn't. You just this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And you did it. But making that jump definitely was not something that was an easy transition for you. So let's talk about, we know the pretty, and I'm kind of jumping right into the grind, but how was making that jump for Ariane, a huge thing that completely changed you as a woman or as a person in itself?
So I'll just break down the story real quick. I mean, and you told it real well. But I was just in a place in my life. I was straight out of graduate school. I had just done my master's in accounting, and I was in a transitional period of my life. And so opportunity arose for LA, and I'll tell like it is. I was in love, and I was like, I'm about to go be near my man. And for me, I am a very analytical person. So once the decision is made, it's time to move on it. Because I've already gone back and forth in my mind, and I might, break things down a little quicker than the next person in my mind. But once the decision is made, I just go for it. So I gave everyone, including my parents, a week's notice, maybe 6 days notice.
Yeah, more like almost 5.
Right. And it was crazy because my parents didn't believe me. They thought I was just playing around until, all my bags were packed and I put everything in my car, and I was shipping my car in a couple weeks. And I took a one-way. It was not easy. I didn't have a job offer or anything. I had visited LA, but the whole thing with LA is you got to be there if you get called for an interview. Because interviews can happen the same day they call you. Absolutely. You can't really set that up. So, for me, I was just in a place in my life where I needed some a drastic change, something dramatic had to happen. And so I was gung-ho to go for it. And I ended up living in a hotel for a month. I had a deal with my parents I said, look, give me 30 days.
Give me a 30 days.
give me 30 days in the deal with my parents. And I did everything my parents asked me to do. I went to undergrad. I went right through. I finished my master's at age 22. So I was really going. And so there's, it was kind of like a graduation gift. Okay, we'll take care of you for 30 days.
Right.
But the deal was if I didn't get a job in an apartment and secure myself within 30 days in LA, where I only knew one person, okay, and he didn't have anything either. If I didn't get that together, I would have to come home. And I honestly believe in my heart that my parents definitely thought I was going to fail at that challenge, because who's able to go across the coast, not know anyone, and find a job and in a secure apartment? You got to have pay stubs to secure an apartment, right? Right. And make it happen in 30 days. It's real difficult. But I was determined. I hit the ground running, and I was living in the valley of LA. It was a hood. It was a hood. It wasn't Compton, but it was a hood. But I was happy. I was happy that I was able to secure myself, and I had got a job that was super, super far from where I lived, but I had to make it work, and that's where the journey started. And it was pretty bad because I'll let everybody know, I ended up being by myself. My the one I was in love with was not so much in love with me that much. So that's embarrassing, but I'm over it. So we got deliverance today.
Yes, we have deliverance. We have deliverance.
But it was good. It was good for me. It was really, really good for me because it was my first time living with no roommate, really living by myself. So here I am in this huge Los Angeles, California place where I know no one, and I'm living in the hood, and I'm living on my own by myself. And it was scary. It was really, really scary. But I was making sure I did what I had to do. I mean, I lived paycheck to paycheck for a while because, you got to buy furniture. I didn't have anything but my clothes. But I really believe it was something that allowed me to really grow, because I wanted to be in LA. You know, I wanted to act, I wanted to do some things, and I did end up doing a lot of things that I wanted to do. But it allowed me to be in a place by myself where I could have faith in God and be like, okay, it's just me and you, Lord.
Right.
Because the other option, any other option of failure was to go back to my hometown, which I did not want to do. And now, I mean, it'll be almost 4 years, a few months, that I've been out in LA, and I'm thriving, and I'm doing extremely well, and I'm very happy, and I live in abundance.
Absolutely.
But it was very hard. Like, for a whole year, I felt like I was in a strange land. Like, I was scared of everything.
You were in a strange land by yourself. Completely.
But it was crazy. Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy experience. So that's like the beginning of the whole situation. But I think when people want to make a jump for something, you got to analyze your situation fully and be honest with yourself and say, if what I'm going after, is it bigger than what I have right now? And at that point in my life, I didn't really have anything. I mean, I had my education, but I really hadn't secured anything as far as like job placement. I could have, but I really didn't want to be in my hometown. So it was everything I needed to do. And so when I had the opportunity to have a little comfort, which was to know someone, which wasn't a lasting comfort, but it was enough. Right. It was a seed for me to grow.
That's all you needed.
I took it. And I think there's windows of opportunity for people to take a big leap. And the window does pass, you know, but if you see it and you see the sun and you see a crack, go through it. If you really believe that what's on the other side is better than what you got going on right now.
Absolutely. And, you know, just to even bounce back to when you talked about and you mentioned your education, you know, let them know what was your undergrad degree in and what you got your master's in, which I'm sure they have an idea, but just, you know, and also the schools you went to.
I did my undergrad in accounting, and I minored in Spanish. And I also got a graduate degree, my master's in accounting as well. So it was crazy for me. You know, it was a lot of grinding, and then I'm in love with the Spanish language, so I did study abroad, go to Spain. That was probably scarier than being in LA, because I didn't have any internet for 2 weeks, and I had no phone for like 4 months.
Right.
So, you know, I had to go to an internet cafe to email my parents to let them know that I actually had made it safe. So that was like time warp.
I remember talking to you at like the crack of dawn. The time, even just timing period.
Skype was my best friend.
It was.
Skype was my best friend. And, you know, that was my first time taking like public transportation, subways, underground, not to do anything. And that was another experience. But so I have 2 degrees in accounting, a bachelor's and a master's, and I have a minor in Spanish.
Yes. So with making this jump, we like you said, you went to LA, no job in hand, and getting there, you were able to secure a job. And so what were you doing at that job? You know, I have an idea, but, you know, just give my listeners the details.
So I was working for a huge, I don't know if I'll say the name, but a huge financial institution. You know, it's a well-known $1 billion company with a B. And basically what I did was international funds with reconciliation with different currencies. So I did stuff with the euro, sterling, and the US dollar. Basically, the loan system for the institution had broken down for a while, and so we had to do a lot of stuff by hand. So I'm the person who came in and restructured everything, did analysis and everything, so everything could be perfect for all the different currencies. And I worked closely with the sister bank in London and Burdell. So that was great, and it was basically this, almost the same thing every day, but it was paying the bills. So at that point, when I got that job, I remember them looking at me and thinking I was too young. Mind you, I'm like 23 at the time. in LA, just got my little apartment in the hood, and I'm trying to, convince this interviewer that I can take on the job, because she's looking at me like a 23-year-old. I didn't have that much experience. I had a couple internships in college, but nothing of like large financial analysis. And I remember being in the interview and the person saying, well, you don't have a lot of experience in that. And I said, I'm 23 years old and I can only get experience if I have the opportunity. And I'll work harder than anyone else. And I'm quick and I learn quick. So that really hit her hard. And I think people have to remember, if you're going to take big leaps of faith, understand that people who give you opportunities are human. And so if you can connect on that human level and not say things that you think someone wants you to say, but really just speak from a place of who you are, doors open. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened for me for that first job that I had there. And it was a temporary position that I was only supposed to have for like 3 months, but I ended up being there 9 months. And then I quit.
Yes, let's talk about that, because I feel like throughout your entire transition, you've just been jumping, okay? And it felt like you would take a jump across a bridge, then it'd be like a jump across a cliff, then it'd be like a jump across 2 buildings, and you just continue to take these jumps that's like, there's no net down there, girl. There's, there's nothing down there. There's no bungee cord connected to you, and you're jumping. And so let's talk about that jump from deciding to quit working for this financial institution that was fitting for your degree that you went to school for and that you paid all this money for, and that ideally was a perfect position for you, but you took a jump because of why. Give us the details. What was going through your mind as into, why you decided to take that jump, and how taking that jump really gave you a whole different level of faith.
So the thing with the job I had at the financial institution was, it was a job. I really wasn't growing, in my opinion, mentally.
That's so true.
And I'm a person who values intellect.
Yes.
I connect with people who are smart. I like anybody I'm interested romantically to be smart. I'm an intellectual, stimulated person. That's what turns me on. And so I was unable to really grow mentally. And I would, when you get to the point in your life where you can do your work, you can do an 8-hour day in 3 hours. I remember one time I came to work 4 hours late, nobody noticed, and I got all my work done. And so at that point, I was just like, I can do this stuff in my sleep. And my health coaching business with ADRI.V was doing really, really well, and it was taking off very, very well. And I had decided that I wanted to focus on building my business. I really didn't have any time, and I'm going to tell you this. It was so hard living so far from my job, because my job was like in Santa Monica, which is like a really high-end, very expensive place to live. And I lived in the hood, literally 45 minutes away. And when you have LA traffic, 45 minutes can turn into 2 hours easily. And so what ended up happening, I was stretching myself too thin. I was teaching some classes at a few like cancer hospital places, just doing my ADRI.V thing with fitness classes. And I was just pulling myself in too many directions. And I remember driving one day and I was so tired that I literally for 2 seconds fell asleep while I was driving on the highway. And, I could have gotten an accident really bad.
Absolutely.
And that was my point where I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm putting my life at risk. So the traffic was draining. It wasn't a good situation for me. And I really only took that job because it was a great job, but I took it quickly because I needed the money. And I didn't really have that many options because I was on a time schedule. So time was still ticking, because when I took that job, we're still on that 30-day countdown. Okay. I had to figure out something in those 30 days that I had. So, once I was getting too tired and I fell asleep on the freeway one time while driving. Thank God I didn't get into an accident. But at that point, I had to say, this can't go on any longer. And I had some money saved with ADRI.V. ADRI.V was doing really well. And I took another leap of faith. I prayed about it. I pray about every leap of faith I've ever taken. I pray about it, and I believe God speaks to me through signs, however way possible it might be. I might go somewhere and overhear someone talking, or someone might talk to me, not about my situation, but just about something personal, and it gives me my answer. And that's how it was for LA. For me moving to LA, I ended up talking, I was on an interview, and the interviewer guy said, the interview in Buffalo, New York, and the interviewer said, why don't you just leave now? Why are you waiting to leave? And I was like, don't you want me to work here? You should be making me want to stay.
And he spoke to you.
At that point, but he spoke to me, and this man didn't know me at all.
Wow.
And I don't even think he was, like a spiritual person or anything like that. So that's what made me do my move for that. And then with me leaving the financial institution, I had a few conversations with a few other people, and I never told anybody I was thinking about leaving my job. But a friend of mine had left his job to pursue his career and his business that he was doing. And I saw a few other signs, and I took the big leap. And this one was scary. The move from my hometown to LA was scary, but to be in LA where your rent is like equivalent to somebody's mortgage.
Because it is. Especially in Buffalo.
It was insane, and it was scary, but I got into a place where I was so used to being in the realm of uncertainty that I started to just get really calm. And I remember one time I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent, and I refused to call my parents for money. To this day, I refuse. Because I know what the answer is. You can just come home.
Right, right.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, I had been working really hard on my business, and I had been paying my bills, but rent was about to come up. And once again, that was a mortgage, okay? A mortgage. So I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. And then I got a huge client base for my health coaching stuff, and it was enough to pay my rent. And it came in just in time. And then after that, I ended up doing a holograph when money got low again. I mean, it got to the point where I was having like tuna casserole every single day. Like the what's the Betty Crocker kind?
Seriously?
You buy your tuna and it comes with like the noodles and the powder. So I literally was having that like for 2 weeks. That's how low my money was. And then I got a link for a holograph video, a fitness holograph DVD type thing. And I didn't know it was actually a holograph. They just said a fitness DVD. So I was like, you know what? Let me go for it. I have been working really greatly with my my company and making sure my body was right. I feel like I'm an incredible fitness instructor. And I put my audition in, put my tape in, and I actually won the spot. And that ended up paying my rent again for another month. And so I was actually unemployed for 3 months in LA. And that, 3 months, as far as my expenses go, that ended up being like maybe $10,000, $11,000. So that's just to put some stuff in perspective for you. Like no money coming in. I had like $500 saved when I quit my job, and it was just a lot going on, but it was a situation where I knew my talent, and I really was okay with being uncertain with how everything was going to go out, because I'm a very spiritual person. And so I felt like, God, if you led me to this place, you're not going to leave me.
Right.
So that was the place I was in. And I'm not going to lie to you, like, it was very, very hard. I got really, really sad because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. And I think for people who want to make a big jump, you got to be completely okay with not knowing how every single thing is going to work out, but doing what you can possibly do just today and focus on getting whatever you possibly can get done today to make tomorrow great. You'll end up winning. So that was my whole thing with it. And I think I'm okay with how everything turned out, because I'm in a great place now.
Absolutely.
And it taught me a lot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I know that was like a long answer, but
nah, because you gave the details and you really gave a perspective and a true glare at what you had to deal with. Because the whole concept of, you know, the G code is the pretty, the ugly, and the grind. Like, we get the chance to, you know, follow you on social media and see how dope you are, you know, from your photo shoots you get to do to, you know, you skydiving, you know, and seeing you doing a holograph, the video. But nobody can see the in between. Nobody will see we get to see the dope food you made after you were able to get the job and after the money was coming in. But nobody knew that that's what you were eating also. You know what I mean? So the glitz and glam, we get to see the good life on social media, but no one really gets to understand it and see the struggle in HD. You know what I mean? Like, you're living the struggle in HD of taking a jump, following your dreams, first following your heart, and then after realizing, you know, I have bigger dreams than this, and following your dreams, and then after jumping from one thing and then jumping to follow your dreams of completely doing your business already, you know, you then stumble into a great opportunity. And let's just, you know, talk about now after the pretty, you know, we get a chance to see, or more so get a chance to experience the pretty, then we see the ugly, you know, of the slight struggles that you have to encounter. And of course, then the grind kicks into another level, which takes you to success. So, you know, let's talk about the grind of you now being in the place that you're in, which you said is a good space. Because one, I feel like you have the best of both worlds, because you being my friend, I know that you're working in this dope place that combines both education and passion and the whole shebang. So let's talk about that and being in the place that you're in, and now being able to say, you know, you're working for this dope institution and still being able to
and I think if anybody Googles me, my job will come up anyway. It actually comes
Google me, baby. That's your answers to many things, right?
Yeah. Where I am now, I had to fight to be.
Right.
So I actually, the job I had after the financial institution, I was a director of student finance at a music and studio production school. And it was a very different environment for me. And it was cool. I was there for almost 2 years. But it was a high male environment. So, like, I was the only African American who was a director out of like 10 directors. Okay. And then I was the only, you know, there were about three or four females out of about 30 staff. Okay. So that's to put everything in perspective for that. And so I dealt with, you know, a very high masculine environment where women weren't seen as necessary. And it was even to the point where the owner of the company, he didn't even believe in marriage. So, like, he was just like, I don't believe in that. Because he just didn't value women. And I was disrespected too many times. And the last time I left that job and I did not have a lead. So, like, the day I quit my... and I'm not
jump boy.
Anyone.
Don't be jumping like Ariane. Don't jump like her.
Don't jump like... Don't do that. But I would say this. Every move I've made, it's not because I've made it out of my emotions. But it was really, there was something internally that was pushing me. And even at my job that I had at the studio production school, I should have been left. Like, I should have left 3 or 4 months ago. But I got comfortable with the commute. I got comfortable with my freedom and my flexibility. The money wasn't all that great, but I was able to still do ADRI.V, and that's why I was there. So, but I had an urge to leave. Like, I felt like it felt so heavy on me to the point where I liked my job and I liked being there, but I started to almost just get anxiety on my way to work for no reason. And I was like, it's time to go again. And I never want to be one of those people who's like, oh, you're a quitter, you know, whatever. But I will definitely say every jump that I've made, I've been completely upgraded every time. So this situation, I was supposed to leave, and I feel like God had to push me out. He had to slap me out, because the day I left, I mean, you know, I was a mess. Internally, I was just disrespected to the highest degree, and I couldn't take anymore. So I, once again, not having a job lead, not knowing how everything was going to be, then I was okay because I have been in this place before. And when you're trying to be a go-getter and you're trying to go after your passion, you are guaranteed to have highs and lows. They are guaranteed. Everything is not going to be peachy all the time.
Yes, honey.
Low points of your life are 100% guaranteed if you're going to live, period. So because I was familiar with the valleys and the lows of my life, I said, well, here I am once again. And I'm okay because I've been here before.
Wow.
I've conquered this place. And I got the T-shirt to keep for it.
And the hat and the keychain.
I got the hat. I got the keychain. I've been here. I know how to do this. I know how to feel. And I know how to grind to get the next thing.
Absolutely.
And 2 weeks later, I got a job that was way more money, way more opportunity. I didn't have benefits at my old job. This one gave me ridiculous benefits. And it was an environment that I loved. And I struggle as a young black woman being an accountant and being a person who manages businesses. You don't see a lot of young black women in this type of field. You see a lot of black women in the offices of like entertainment industries and stuff like that, but not strictly finance. And so I love being a black girl who rocks.
'Cause you're definitely that.
And I like to wear colors. I like to, wear my hair the way I wanted to wear it. And I struggled for a long time to not even be in any type of accounting or business environment because I didn't want to be starched. I didn't want to be something that I didn't have to be. So the job that I have now is amazing because I'm doing what I love on a higher level. I grow every day. I'm challenged mentally, which is good for me because I never get bored. And I get to be me, I get to wear my hair the way I want to. I get to dress the way I want to. And I don't have to fit in some box. I wear jeans to work. Today I wore some leggings and a long shirt and some boots. And I got some big old crazy red curly hair in my head right now. And I have a meeting on Friday.
And I love it.
At LA Center Studios to meet with my clients to talk about finances. And they respect me. I'm an assistant controller for multi-million-dollar companies in a whole bunch of different industries in LA, from production to film to, electric cars to real estate, all those different things. And I am who I am. I'm not changing my appearance to appease anyone, but I'm always, going to be professional, and I'm getting respected for my work. And it's a great experience. I'm in a good place. I live in abundance. And I'm just in a really, really good place. And I feel like had I not left that old job, I would never even know about this opportunity. And I work at a place that's owned by a woman. So I went from a place that was completely masculine,
right,
where they didn't value women, to going to a place where a woman runs everything.
And it's such a beautiful thing because then you really then look at your position as at another level. Like you said, being a young African-American woman in such a position, but then being able to see another woman who's running this particular company where it's also a rarity. It's just like, what, at this moment, you feel a bit invincible, like you can do whatever. Right. And for me to even see her operate the way she operates, she's a no-nonsense type of person. I've had amazing favor with her. To the point where, when she's in her house in Hawaii somewhere, I'm watching over her property while she's gone, stuff like that. And so it's like, it's a place where I think any go-getter, anybody who wants to take a leap of faith, trust your skill set and also be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. I know I'm great at speaking. I know I'm great at negotiations. And I'm great at persuading people to do things. And I bring that to the table. And it's amazing to be in opportunities where, here I am, this young black girl, in her 20s. And I'm sitting in a boardroom. I'm running the meeting. And I'm sitting in a room full of 40-year-old Caucasian men saying, well, Ari, what do you think we should do? And when you have moments like that, everything you've ever been through
extra tuna casserole and all that kind of stuff is worth it in that moment. And you're like, I made the right decision. And so even though, yes, I did, I made a lot of jumps, it was worth it. And each place taught me how to deal. Like, I'm great under pressure because I know what it is to be without.
Right.
And I'm okay with not knowing how everything's going to go or how everything's going to play out, because I've been in a place where I'm uncertain on how everything's going to play out. And it helps me in my job. So everything that happened groomed me for even this moment and whatever else is to come, to which I'm so excited about.
And you definitely should be excited, because there's so many great things on the horizon for you. Not just saying it as a friend, but, you know, I know this as a fact, just because, again, the work ethic, the experience that you have, and plus the faith. Because at the end of the day, to make such a jump, you have to have faith in God, knowing like, all right, G, I know you got me on this. So I'm gonna walk by faith and not by sight. But also, faith without work is dead. So I know I'm gonna put the work in. You didn't just chill around once you made the jump. You know, you definitely put your feet to the faith, and you was hitting the ground running on top of everything else. So, you know, as you even now in this great place, and there's great things that you will still achieve, what are some, you know, 3 key areas? What will be, I'll give you 3 G codes, you know, that you will say that you have implemented in your life, seen it to be true, and that you can encourage others to take on these codes as well.
Okay. 3 G codes.
Yes. If you have more, feel free.
I don't want to be cliche, but when it comes to the outside world or people that you need to prove yourself to, be strong within yourself. And I mean, the cliche thing is never let them see you sweat. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember going into my interview of my second job, and I did amazing on the interview, and they didn't even know, you know, I had $50 in my bank account, and that was it. Right. So it was either I get this job or we got to figure this out. Now, luckily, I had got an acting job. That's another hustle I had that paid for the rent one more month before I started. But I was in a low place, so never let it see you sweat. You know, I believe that if we're going to, you know, I'm a faith person again, so I believe in God. If I'm going to serve God, I feel like I need to get some benefits to it. Absolutely. And I think people feel restricted, like, oh, I can't do this because, you know, it's not good, or I can't do that. But it's like, but look what I can do. It's above and beyond the normal. It's above and beyond the average. So I say the second G code thing would be understand where your help comes from. And it doesn't come from man. God uses men to help you, or uses a woman to help you. But if you're connected to that main source, anything and everything is yours, if you believe it. So I would say that would be number 2, understand where your help comes from. And what's the third one? The third one would be okay with a little bit of uncertainty. I think the miracle and the magic of life is that opportunities come out of nowhere. And you're like, where did this come from? I just got this phone call. Right. You know, one phone call, one interaction, one bumping into one person can change your entire life. And that's how my life was changed. You know, being somewhere at the right time, always. And I think that's, you know, the big thing. Be okay with uncertainty. And I think I see a lot of people worry about their life. I've seen a lot of people stress about their life because they don't know how everything's going to play out. And they ultimately just sabotage themselves. When you're constantly worrying, all you're going to do is keep putting yourself around in circles and circles over and over again. If you worry about money and someone invites you out somewhere, you're probably not going to go because you don't want to spend the gas, but not knowing that you going to hang out is going to be where you meet some new person who can change your life. Right. You know, and I've always been open to new people inviting me to new things. And networking is great, but I've always been open to that. So anytime people invite me to something that I think is cool, I'm going. I did some background vocals for a couple artists, made another amount of money that was able to pay my rent in 3 hours. But I met that person just because I was open to being somewhere. And I think that's just, a huge thing. Be okay with uncertainty and have a plan for your life, of course, but be okay with not knowing how every single thing plays out. Because once you are where you're supposed to be, everything that needs to happen is going to fall into place. If you are where you're supposed to be, and just do what you possibly can do right now. We often get overwhelmed in our minds, like everything seems so much bigger in your mind than it is in reality.
Right.
And it's much easier when you do it rather than you thinking about how you're going to do it. So that'd be my codes. I know that was like way more than 3, but nevertheless, enjoy them.
You dropped so many codes throughout this entire time, and it really just rings true to who you are as a person. Like I said, I'm really big on connecting myself with people who I believe are go-getters, because you fuel each other. Iron sharpens iron. And as many times I can say, okay, I already made this jump. I know I could make this little jump that I'm skirmish over. You know what I mean? And it's an encouragement to hear these stories, because so many of these people and so many listeners and so many other individuals want to make jumps, but they have no clue how to go about it, or if they really should do it. Or like you said, they're worrying, they're super conscious about it, and they're going back and forth with the idea versus saying, okay, boom, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And wherever the chips fall, the chips fall. But at the end of the day, I've made this decision. I'm going to give it my all. And, that is so important. So before we get up out of the G Code, let the folks know how they can follow you, support the entire Ari.Ready movement, and really get connected with you via that social media or your website.
Okay, so the website, like I said, is ariready.com. So that's ARIREADY.com. Also, you can hit me on IG, that's Instagram, and it's going to be Ari.Ready Fitness, so ARIREADY Fitness, FITNESS, and those are pretty much, and my Twitter is Ari.Ready Fitness as well, so add me. If I don't follow back or whatever, just send me a DM and be like, hey, I heard you on the G Code, and I'm going to say, let's go, because you must be a go-getter if you listening to the G Code, or you're trying to be a go-getter if you listen to the G Code. So I'll definitely follow you back, and yeah, contact me.
Exactly what she said. Contact her, and I'm sure she could give you all the tips and tricks that you definitely need to have a fit life in all areas. I'm sure she could probably give you some financial tips too. So make sure you hit up my friend. You got any, in radio we say shout out. So you got anybody you want to send some shout outs to, family, friends?
Shout out to my family. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to my friend on this show.
Boo.
Shout out to my man, who's a wonderful support in my life as well, and my whole team that's helped with Ari.Ready over the years, and to everyone who ever doubted. Shout out to you for the motivation.
Absolutely. I love that. Gotta send a shout out to them. Let them know they helped you excel in the way you have done. All right, my go-getters, make sure you please follow my friend Ariane Hennings, like she said, at all things Ari.Ready Fitness. And it's really a delight to be able to have a friend on a show who is a true go-getter and mover and shaker, to give their testimony, to give their G codes, and to really show you that it is possible to follow your dreams. It is okay to take jumps, and sometimes it may feel so horrible and you're unsure, but know at the end, as she has shared, that you will be able to make it, and you definitely can do it. Okay, don't forget to follow the G Code on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're on I'm snapping on Snapchat, but subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, as well as YouTube, and you can check it out at my website at www.ADRI.V.com. And a big shout out to the Capital Music Drew, especially my homeboy Mr. Droid Darius Bryan. I had to give your government for always giving me such a dope beat. All right, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again with another episode of the G Code.